This is the house that my wife didn't actually know about. So,
oh dear, she's behind the camera right now.
she found out when I told her we were successful.
Hi guys, we're in Cumberg, Aberday in South Wales. Hopefully I said that right with Damien. Thank you for having me down, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
We're going to go and walk through one of Damien's properties, go for a walk through, and at the end, of course, we're going to go through the juicy numbers. And then explain what you're doing to the outside of this building.
Yeah, so the front of the property is going to be re-rendered with an insulation as well. So
how many bedrooms currently? I know you said 2.
Yeah, so we purchased it at auction. It was a 2-bed. We went through planning to get the actual window in, so it's now being converted to a 3-bed.
Perfect. What were the windows like before, Damien? Were they single? Or?
Single pane, very
wooden
old.
Or just PVC?
No PVC, but just still very old.
Just wanted to get it done, yeah. And I like what you said when you mentioned that, because obviously with the new regulations from the government that has obviously been delayed currently with the EPC, and obviously they'll be bringing it in at some point, your mindset is very similar to mine, where if you're going back to brick, you're just going to get it done anyway.
Yeah.
Is that kind of...
It's all about kind of securing the future for us as a company as well. You know, we're not in to sell the houses at the moment. We're retaining everything, so achieving the EPCC is crucial for us.
Which is something that you changed your mind on, about retaining properties, by the way.
It was. Yes.
When we first met, me and Damien, we discussed about selling properties, weren't we? And
yeah.
I've hopefully persuaded him to not sell.
Yes.
And I wanted to keep hold of his properties for his rental income. First thing I noticed when I walked in, an amazing ceiling feature that's going to be an LED light running around. If you just look on here on this camera, you can obviously see where the LED is going to be going in. Whose idea was that?
Again, that was the contractors. As much as I like to take glory in it, it's, Team Mainty. Yeah,
they've done that.
Yeah,
that's cracking. And you mentioned about this. Obviously, this is a little bit different, which I actually want to explore and use. The insulation's behind there, but we've got these metal stud work for his plasterboard, and all the cables can actually run through these gaps as well. It's an alternative. Instead of using timber, I think you can actually mix them with timber sometimes.
I think if looking at the costs on the difference between timber and using the alley frame, I don't know about the speed of each and whether or not they're comparables, but obviously,
if they prefer that as well, if
they
used
do,
to it,
yeah, they're used to it.
There must be a benefit in there, I'm sure. Maybe speed-wise, that's been done.
Yeah, maybe.
So what's this room, Damien? What's this going to be?
So it's just the family living room. It can be used as the dining room down the bottom if needs be, but it's just the family living room.
What are you doing with the staircase?
So we're looking to put some slats. Yeah,
nice.
So
like
the floor-to-ceiling slats.
Yeah.
Going all the way down, quite a modern and different technique to use.
We spoke earlier, as they walk in, it's going to be a wow factor for the tenants living here. They'll see the feature wall with the slats and then the ceiling lights. Oh, it'd be amazing, yeah. Take us through into... So this is the kitchen and bathroom. Oh, you've got a downstairs bathroom?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
How have you managed to work that out? What's happening? So what will this be?
So this is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen.
Yeah, this is already, well, hopefully going in next week. Just got a kind of an L-shaped kitchen, sink.
Yeah. Cooking station.
Yeah, and we're leaving this side then open potentially for a small
appliances, maybe.
Small little dining table.
Right. Okay. Where's your fridge going?
Fridge freezer is going to be integrated, and it's going here.
Lovely. That's the electrics for that there.
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant. You've got your electrics, all your sockets all in. So you're at the stage now of obviously getting it. You've plastered. You've got your first fix electrics in.
Yeah.
You've got your spots ready, I imagine, and your smoke alarms and things.
There's a house that we are literally due to complete just down the road.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a really big, grand house. And we're looking to add that but it's going from a 2 to a 4 bed.
Wow.
And an ensuite upstairs as well.
2 to a 4 bed and an ensuite?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an exciting one. And unfortunately I don't have the keys. I was like,
no, we'll come back down. We'll come back with our dog next time as well. So show us the bathroom.
It's a very dirty kind of bathroom, but we're able to obviously put the partition wall in.
Okay.
Get a bath with a shower.
Over the top.
Obviously, the glass will be frosted.
Yeah.
They've sent the wrong ones.
You could actually get some. I know this sounds. You're going to do it with the glass, but you could get a film. But of course, you can get the glass. Get the glass. Where's the toilet going?
Again, so toilet
here,
right
basin,
there, and then the basin.
Basin's in here in this niche here.
But there's that's going to be a feature wall. So we're tiling this wall to a very different colour, same as the kitchen. It's kind of contrasting.
Tie in with it.
Tie in.
Nice. I like it. And you half tiling, or are you going to go for the full tiles?
Full tile.
Full tiles. Yeah. Easy for maintenance as well.
It is, yeah.
Discuss what you said about the white grout.
Oh.
Because you said no, Hannah said maybe, yes. And then now we don't know what's going on.
I think kind of learning from our first property and looking at how we change or look to change to secure less maintenance and recalls and mould and stuff like this, we've decided to move away from white grout and change it to a dark grey grout.
Dark grey.
Which kind of...
Do you know what we get though? We invest in Hull and the water's really limey and you get white. So if you go, you can't win in Hull. If you go for white grout, it's great because you don't see the white scaly stuff, but you get the black mould and stuff. Yeah. But if you go for a dark grey, you get the white lime water on the dark grey, so you can't win. So you've got to kind of weigh up that. Yeah. But the thing that I would... What we're doing, we used to do the Metro tiles, which is the small, obviously, 100 by 200 or 300. But now we're going for more like bigger tiles, so there's less grout lines, less areas for water to seep into. So that might be an option as well. I think you discussed that you were going to do that anyway with the tiles. Yeah,
it's like a white marble effect tiles, 600 by 600. Yeah. Originally, when you come up the stairs, there used to be a wall here, and then it would be split into one large bedroom, and then a smaller bedroom at the back.
Right.
And again, we were able to knock that wall down, get some partitions in, reconfiguration, and that's how we added the third bedroom.
So where was the wall? Where's the original wall?
So there was a wall here, so you come upstairs, door into bedroom 1, and then door here into bedroom 2. So the walls come down here.
So this is one of the only few houses on the street with a third bedroom?
It's the only one.
The only one?
Yeah, so the rest of the street are all 2 beds.
And you had to get planning permission for that?
Yes.
This is the third bedroom, bedroom 3 that's going to be fit, or bedroom 1, whichever way you look at it, but it's the extra bedroom they've managed, and that's the window going in now.
Yeah, so that's bedroom 2.
And am I right in thinking then that this is now a new wall?
Yeah. It is.
Right,
yeah.
So this was one big... I'll just go in here. Yeah. So that's the new wall that's been put up to separate this, what was a 2-bedroom property now is into a 3. Is that window original?
It is.
Or has it been reshaped?
It's a new one, but
right.
Again...
so you just decided to come off that window to make the wall, so you didn't have to move that, you didn't have to mess around with that window, moving it, for example. No. You just left it. Yeah. So, Damien, tell us about the numbers on this property. First of all, you mentioned it was at auction. What was the purchase price?
So it was purchased for 55,000. That was with the auctioneer's fees all in on that.
Brilliant. And because we're in Wales, it's not stamp duty, it's land transaction tax. What was that?
That's obviously set at 4% first.
4%, so not 3% in England and Northern Ireland, 4%.
Yeah, so it was £2,240.
Perfect. And then your legals?
Yeah, all in just over 1,500.
Brilliant. And then refurb costs. So what we're looking at for that, and how you structured that? I imagine a lot of people might be interested in the project management, or have you got individual contractors in? How are you working that? First of all, what's the budget?
So the budget was approximately 50 to 55,000, but it actually came into £62,000 for a refurb.
62.
Right. The reason for that, there were certain elements that we kind of wanted to add, and we were just unforeseen.
Unforeseen things. And is it one team that's managing this for you?
It is. We decided to go with a contractor rather than self-managing it. The speed on how we need to develop these houses back to market for rental, it's just not feasible for us to do it on our own. And it's far quicker using a contractor.
You mentioned you've got like your long-term plan in place, haven't you? And obviously for the speed aspect of it, I suppose, is going to get you there a lot quicker. Yeah. It might mean spending a little bit more on the project management aspect of it, but you're going to get to your goal, and hopefully with a few less grey hairs and stress, I imagine, I suppose. Yeah. How many houses have you got around these areas now?
So we've got one completed and rented in Merthyr Tydfil. We have got one over in Tylerstown, which is currently ongoing maintenance. And we've got a pub which is being converted into two bed houses.
Amazing. So, I remember you telling me about this one.
Yes.
Is that local around here?
It's around 20 minutes drive.
Nice. End value.
Yes.
What are we looking at here after all the refurb's done? What we're lifting it up? What we getting
So
to?
We're hoping that GDV should get to around 140.
Did you purchase this one cash or bridging finance, or how did you fund this project?
We're very fortunate, so everything's kind of cash at the moment until we get down to the numbers and needing to refinance. Yeah,
and then we're going to refinance onto a mortgage after that.
Yeah.
What's the rental income achievable? Is it going to be a HMO? Is it a buy-to-let? What's your plan with the rent?
So it is a buy-to-let. the achievable on rental is 595 to 625 for the area. But again, on a monthly basis, that is changing and it is increasing. But we'll.
And you've got the third bedroom as well. So could you be asking for a little bit more?
I think kind of for now, we're safe to say that 625 should be achievable.
Yeah.
But until we get the end valuations from local agencies. We'll keep same numbers.
Yeah, of course. What was the big attraction for you around this area?
Multiple different reasons. Yes, I am local. I'm currently from Penrith, which is 4 or 5 miles down the road. So I know the area very well.
Yeah.
In respect to why this house, it was a spur of the moment. Kind of, we were viewing a lot of different houses at auction. This is the house that my wife didn't actually know about. So,
oh dear, she's behind the camera right now.
she found out when I told her we were successful. So
lovely. Yeah. I think I remember you sending a screenshot to the group chat on an auction. He was like, I've just bought this one. Was that this one or was that another one?
No, I think this was this
one. It
was
this one, yeah. Right, blimey. Damien's in the PhD group of the JPU, but one thing I like about Damien and Hannah, I think you actually turned up to one of the live lessons on your anniversary.
He did.
Yes.
Is that right? That's commitment.
Yeah.
Right there.
Just had to be done.
But that's amazing. Have you got any more like plans for other properties coming up?
Yeah, so we have 2 with solicitors which should be completing any day now. And we've got a further 2 again with solicitors which are about 4 or 5 weeks away. So
yeah. And has the JPU give you a push a little bit into it?
Yes, from selling the family business, we didn't know much about property. So I said to the wife, we do need to kind of learn, and we looked at options of a lot of training courses out there.
Yeah.
Yours sprung to mind. I've seen yourself on social media, and I kind of liked how you operated and decided to come on board.
I suppose the final question I've got here, Damien, is have you got any advice for anyone new who wants to get started in property?
There are multiple of different kind of good and bad in property. We came into this 9 months ago with a lot of negativity from people out there. 2 of the biggest reasons for us getting up and running are yourself. I think kind of understanding and getting a good mentor and jumping onto the JPU was kind of a key. We understood business anyway.
Yeah.
But understanding property and having them that shoulder to lean on was great. And second of all, we do heavily rely on our contractors.
Yeah, big up Matey.
Yeah, Matey Group. Craig, the CEO. He's great. I text him every night. We discuss property all the time.
That's more times than me.
Yes.
I'm getting jealous now.
You're a busy man. You're a busy man. Don't be afraid. I think if you're able to get that pot of cash to do one property, surrounding yourself with people that understand, kind of will give you success.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. I mean, I'm on the phone to my plasterers, my plumbers, my joiners. They're like my friends now, It's like, how are we getting on? And it's that's important to build up that relationship with those trades. And then but there's a line, right? And you've got your high standards, both of you, Hannah as well, and they know where your standard is. And if they've done a good project for you, it's about not dropping their standards and continually raising. And you always want to better every project that you go on. You've got these, beautiful ideas in there that we've seen with the ceiling lights and the floor-to-ceiling slats that you're going to put in. You probably didn't do that on your first one, but you've now taken that idea and you're going to buy another one, and you're going to even want to better it even further. So having that good relationship with your trades and your project management team is super important, I would say, especially if you're getting started in property. So Damien, you've bought many projects and many houses, and you've got your hands full at the minute. Tell us about your first investment property. Was it success or learning? Did you learn some, We
learned a lot. Yeah, we learned a lot on that property, from the finances, the figures, the refurb. I think we paid too much for it. We purchased it for 98,000, where I firmly believe we should have been going in for the 80. But that's only now because of the GDV, and kind of understanding the GDV going back 9 months ago. I think lessons learned. We're now 9 months down the line. We are learning more as we go along. So fingers crossed we should become more profitable as we go.
How do you analyse these properties? I mean, are you looking at particular areas of investments? Have you got your spreadsheets obviously set up to go through the numbers?
Yeah, we do. Funny enough, we use one of your spreadsheets that you put on the JPU. We do look at each valley in turn, looking at the rental, and then kind of looking at what the lowest amount we need to go in at.
Right, and then the end value as well, the GDV, gross development value.
It is difficult sometimes to personally look at what that end value is.
Yeah.
We try to look at Rightmove and Zoopla.
Sometimes it's difficult.
It is, because if there haven't been houses sold within a quarter of a mile for 3 years,
where you're getting that comparison from, right?
So the comparison,
yeah. So that is sometimes a little bit more difficult if you're buying in areas which, like Damien says, not recent in terms of the sale prices. So Damien, give us an update on the refurb of that pub. How's it going?
Yeah, so it started well. We have hit a bit of a blip with the council. Building control wanted to take control because there was a section of the property that was purchased back in the day, and they still believe that it's under their remit.
Oh, right.
Where we want to use our third-party building controls, and they're hitting heads. But hopefully they should be resumed Monday next week. So.
Brilliant. Also on that, I got told recently by a building control officer that they actually opened up building control to more of the private sector now. What used to happen is you used to have to use the building control officer from the council, but then it opened up into private companies then coming on board. So you can go and get a third party building control officer and doing that work for you, and then submitting that to the council based on your findings, or whatever the argument is going on, but I'm sure you'll resolve it.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that with a nice smile. No, so guys, thank you very much for having us here.
Yes,
it's been an absolute pleasure. We will be coming down again to see this because I want to see what it looks like. So thank you for joining us, guys, in Wales, in the valleys. And if you do like the video, please do like and subscribe and comment down below any thoughts.